Something is changing. The systems you know are no longer enough. A new structure is being built. Alignment, abundance, evolution, continuity. Enter and begin.
Leaders of nations, builders of industry, thinkers, creators, and every individual across this planet who have ever paused and quietly asked themselves, is this really the way life is meant to be? I speak to you now. Not to inspire you with temporary emotion, not to entertain you with ideas that fade, but to present something far more grounded, far more demanding, and far more real. A structure, a system, a blueprint for what comes next. Because the truth, whether comfortable or not, is this. Humanity has not failed, but the systems we have been living within are no longer sufficient for who we are becoming. We have outgrown them. We have outgrown economies that reward extraction over contribution. We have outgrown systems that treat symptoms instead of causes. We have outgrown ways of thinking that keeps us reacting instead of creating. And yet, we continue to operate within these structures as if they are permanent, as if they are fixed, as if they are the only way forward. They are not. What we are witnessing across the world today, instability, confusion, division, is not the breakdown of humanity. It is the natural result of humanity evolving beyond the containers it once fit inside. And when that happens, there is only two options: cling to what no longer works, or build what does. This is where the new Earth Doctrine begins. Volume 1, The Age of Alignment, establishes the foundation that most people try to skip. A world cannot become stable if the individuals within it are unstable. Alignment is not a philosophy. It is a requirement. Your thoughts, your actions, and your intentions must operate in coherence. I have seen two individuals given the same opportunity, standing in the same environment with access to the same resources. One moved with discipline, clarity, and responsibility. The other moved with reaction, blame, and inconsistency. Over time, their outcomes separated so drastically that it appeared as though they were living in two different realities. But they were not. They were operating under different levels of alignment. And that is where the separation of outcomes always begins. Volume 2, Intelligent Infrastructure, takes this internal alignment and extends it outward. Because even the most disciplined individual cannot thrive in a broken system. The environments we build either elevate people or limit them. Look at the world around you. We sit in traffic not because movement is impossible, but because systems are inefficient. We experience shortages, not because resources are unavailable, but because distribution is flawed. We accept friction as normal, when in reality, it is simply poor design. The new Earth replaces friction with flow. It builds cities that think, systems that adapt, and infrastructure that anticipates rather than reacts. Volume 3, Cosmic Governance, asks a deeper question. How do we organize ourselves in a way that actually works? Governance today is reactive. It waits for problems, then responds. But true governance functions like the human body. It regulates continuously, adjusts constantly, and maintains balance through awareness. This is where humanity evolves into a unified system, what I have defined as the human one-body species, where individuals understand that their actions impact the whole. When one part weakens, the whole feels it. When one part strengthens, the whole rises. Volume 4, Interplanetary Expansion, reminds us that Earth is not our limit, but it also delivers a warning. Expansion without alignment is chaos on a larger scale. If we cannot manage ourselves here, our discipline, our systems, our responsibilities, then expanding outward, it will not elevate us, it will expose us. But when alignment is established expansion becomes natural, not forced, earned. Volume 5, Abundance and Financial Evolution, corrects one of the greatest misunderstandings ever taught to humanity, that money is wealth. Money is a tool. Wealth is a structure. And history has shown us what happens when this truth is ignored. There was once a man, Cornelius Vanderbilt, who built one of the greatest fortunes the modern world had ever seen. He built it through discipline, strategy, and an understanding of systems. But what followed is the lesson. The wealth did not vanish instantly, but his power, his structure, and his dominance began to dissolve across generations, not because of late fate, but because what was inherited was not understood. The next generations had access to money, but not the mindset that created it. They shifted from builders to consumers, from discipline to comfort, from structure to indulgence. And over time, what was once powerful became fragmented. We have seen this pattern repeated across history. The first generation builds, the second enjoys, the third forgets. And where structure is forgotten, wealth cannot survive. That is why abundance must begin internally. If you are unstable, money amplifies instability. If you lack discipline, money exposes it. If you lack awareness, you will misuse it. Spiritual abundance, clarity, stability, discipline must come first. Only then does monetary abundance become sustainable. Volume 6, Integrated Awareness, addresses perception itself. Higher awareness is not something mystical or distant. It is clarity. It is the ability to see patterns, understand consequences, and make decisions based on long-term outcomes rather than long-term emotion. A person without awareness reacts. A person with awareness responds. And the difference determines the direction of their life. Volume 7, The Evolution of the 12 Critical Industries, grounds everything into reality. Because ideas do not shape the world, systems do. Energy, transportation, health, education, finance, housing, agriculture, technology, justice, security, urban development, human development. These industries define how humanity lives. If they remain outdated, humanity remains limited. But when they evolve, when they become intelligent, integrated, and aligned, the world transforms rapidly. The future will not be decided by those who speak the loudest. It will be decided by those who build the systems people rely on every day. Volume 8, The Great Transition, answers the most important question. How do we move from the old world to the new? Not through force, not through collapse, but through performance. The new system does not need to destroy the old. It only needs to work better. When people experience greater efficiency, greater opportunity, and greater stability, they adopt it. Quietly at first, then steadily, then all at once. And now, the final volume, the one most civilizations have failed to understand. Volume 9, The Age of Eternal Continuity and Legacy Systems. Because building a system is not enough. Sustaining it is everything. History is filled with empires, families, and institutions that rose to unimaginable heights only to fall. Not because they lacked intelligence, not because they lacked wealth, but because they lacked continuity. They failed to preserve the mindset that created their success. They passed down resources, but not responsibility, access, but not awareness, wealth, but not discipline. And without those, everything eventually decays. Volume 9 ensures that what is built does not collapse with time. It establishes systems of knowledge preservation, mindset transfer, structural governance, and discipline enforcement across generations. It transforms families into legacy systems, communities into continuity networks, and civilization into something that is no longer resets every century, but evolves continuously. In the new earth, the pattern changes. The first generation builds, the second expands, the third innovates. And the cycle does not decline, it ascends. Because continuity is protected, because structure is preserved, because discipline is maintained. And now the doctrine is complete. Current draft. Across all 9 volumes, one truth remains constant. If you cannot discipline your mind, no system will save you. If you cannot manage your emotions, no opportunity will sustain you. If you do not contribute, you will not experience true abundance. And if you do not evolve, you will remain in systems that no longer serve you. The new earth is not something you wait for. It is something you align with. It does not require belief. It requires participation. It does not demand perfection. It requires responsibility. And it does not ask you to become something else. It asks you to become who you are always meant to be. Clear, stable, disciplined, and capable of building something greater than yourself. So now, humanity, you stand at the threshold. Not the dramatic ending, not a sudden collapse, but the quiet and undeniable decision to remain within systems that no longer reflect our potential, or to step forward and build what does. The new earth is not a prophecy. It is not a theory. It is not a distant future. It is a structure already forming, a system already emerging, a reality already being built. And the only question that remains is this: will you remain where you are, or will you step forward and help construct what comes next? Because the next world will not be given. It'll be built, sustained, and carried forward long after we are gone. And that construction begins now. Ashe.
The shift has begun. Alignment is no longer optional. To inflict virtue.
There comes a moment when presence alone shifts the world.
Harmony, compassion, justice, not ideals, the foundation of what comes next.
Is declining, but humanity's search for God is rising. This is not the end. This is the beginning of cosmic governance. A structure becomes a planet becomes a network, and that network becomes the conscience of our species. We build paths for those who will follow. Your homes were taken in silence, through deception, through lies. But what was taken will be returned. When it returns, it brings life back with it. Know your rights. Reclaim your home. Learn how.
That system is over. No crowds, no noise, no influence. Everything.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I got in? Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so proud of you. I can't believe it. Believe it. You earned this.
Hello?
Hello, this is the Office of Admissions at Arcane Collegium. I'm pleased to inform you that you've been accepted.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Congratulations. This place is unreal.
Feels like we stepped into a storybook.
And we're in it now.
You ready?
More than ever.
At Arcane Collegium, your journey begins the moment opportunity finds you. One decision, one message, one future. Welcome to Arcane Collegium. Advancing mind, advancing humanity.
I am a chosen one. I am a chosen one. A divine being of light. of all mankind.
And the definitive enforcer of the universe's advancements for the betterment of all mankind.
For the betterment of all mankind.
One by one, they awaken, heart steady, purpose clear, synchronize. They are no longer awakening. They are now activated.